What's up, guys? It's Satsmania. I'm coming to you with a brand new deck profile. Well, not really brand new. It's updated. This week I want to show you guys my updated version of my uh, UVA deck, aka Volcanic UAs, uh, so that they're more up to date for the current format. This is the time of the year where a lot of rogue decks typically show their faces and then slowly die away as we get closer and closer to uh, nationals and worlds. And Volcanics actually had a very good showing this past year. And however, recently I was trying to build a more updated version of them. I was trying to do perform ages, and that's more rank 4 centric. And I tried to do pure volcanics, and they're just so ridiculously slow, and they depend on back row so much that it's absolutely ridiculous. Um, yeah, this deck I find the most consistent just because it does what I want. What it does what I want as soon as I really want it to, and if not, I can just sit on Ace and be fine. We'll just get into it, and I'll explain like the plays as I go along. So first, we have the standard volcanic lineup: 3 rocket, 3 scattershot, 3 shell. Rocket is your searcher. If he's summoned, you can add a Blaze Accelerator card from your deck or graveyard to your hand, that being Blaze Accelerator Reload. Um, 3 Volcanic Scattershot. He is the recyclable Raigeki. When he's sent to the graveyard by a Blaze Accelerator card, you can send 2 other Volcanic Scattershots to the grave from your hand or deck to destroy all monsters your opponent controls, and then inflict 1500 damage to your opponent, 500 for each scatter shot. And then Shell is the recyclable card where, well, not really recyclable, he searches himself out when he's in the graveyard. Once per turn while he's in the graveyard, you can pay 500 life points to add 1 Volcanic Shell from your deck to your hand. He's useful for this deck specifically because of 1 Ace. It's a free ditch card for him, so you can negate an effect. Or with Blaze Accelerator Reload, he's a free ditch card, so you can draw a new card and get through your deck faster. So Shell is actually a very good card for the deck. I also play 3 Royal Firestorm Guards. He's the recyclability of the deck. Not the only card that does recycling, but he does it the best in terms of how this deck runs. When this card is normal summon, select 4 Pyro-type monsters in your graveyard and return those cards to your deck, then draw 2 cards. This guy he's a walking pot of avarice, jar of avarice, whatever. For pyro-type monsters, he gets your scatter shots back in deck so you can use them again, which is really how the deck runs. Scatter shots your win condition, so Royal Firestorm Guards is absolutely necessary. I play 3 because typically what a lot of people expect Volcanics to run is 2 Firestorm Guards, and they'll usually have an answer to the first 2, but not the third. And the third one is there just so you can recycle 4th Firestorm Guards back into your deck and just keep the deck going. Typically 2 Firestorm Guards. I've never come into a situation where I only wanted 2 Firestorm Guards. So 3 is just really what I like. For the UAs, I play 3 UA midfielder. He's just so you can get the bigger bodies out on the field much easier. He's also level 4, which works very nicely with Rocket and Guard, so you can get some rank 4 plays going. But yeah, that's really all midfielder is good for. You don't really use his offensively geared effects too often, so yeah, that's why he's there. 2 UA Perfect Ace. He is really one of the key cards of the deck. If you don't know what he does, once per turn during your opponent's turn, when a card or effect is activated, you can discard 1 card, negate that activation, and if you do destroy it, that effect can be from anywhere. It can be from their hand, their field, their deck, if that's the case, the graveyard, the banish zone. It can be anything. So, Perfect Ace is just such a good card. It's a walking, what's it called? Divine Wrath, but it's even better. So, Ace is just super good card for the deck. Plus it gets penalty box and reload into grave faster, which is very important. So yes, Ace is good. 1 Dreadnought Dunker. You can either play Dunker or Slugger in this spot. I chose Dunker because of his destruction effect and the fact that he has higher attack. Um, I don't play UA Stadium just simply because I want to save the normal summons for Rocket or Firestorm Guards and save my special summons for the UA monsters. But it's really up to you and depends on like how you want to play the deck. But personally, I like having this lineup and just being able to special summon out Dunker when necessary. Plus, even if I can only get him out with Signing Deal, which isn't totally bad, and just he's still a 2500 beater, which is pretty decent regardless. So Dunker is an all-around good card. Uh, 2 Summoner Monk. I did this specifically because of the fact that I want Rocket out as fast as possible. Plus, it also helps me get Midfielder out if in the case I have an ace on the field, or if I really want to, I can get into a rank 4. Uh, the reason why I'm playing Summoner Monk is not simply because of the special summoning effect, but also because I keep coming into dead draw signing deals a lot, or I search for it and I don't necessarily need it. It's just to thin out the deck. Summoner Monk really helps utilize that card and to the fullest potential, especially when I don't need it. So Monk is just it just helps the deck, speeds up the deck so much. So yes. For the spells, 3 signing deal. This helps get Ace out as fast as possible because he's one of the key cards. 3 MST because back row sucks. 2 Magic Planner. I was playing 3 Magic Planner before. Since then, I've noticed that 3 is quite cloggy. 2 Magic Planner is really all I need for this deck. And then Rhoda is at 1 now, so I'm only playing 1. Quite honestly, I don't really need more than 1 just simply because I'm playing 3 signing deal. So 1 Rhoda is really all I need. 1 Raigeki. Like sometimes you're in that middle ground where you have a reload ready, but you don't. But you have your scatter shots in grave, and you don't have anything in this recovery. You just need to get your opponent's monsters off the field. Raigeki is a good card to have. I also play 1 Instant Fusion again for rank 4 plays, so that is pretty necessary in a lot of situations. 3 penalty box. This is for searchability. Also, it's a good card to have for defense when you have ace on field and your opponent has a card that you can't really deal with. Penalty box is a great card because it banishes their card, and unless they're playing Cosmos, they don't really have a real way of getting it back. Plus, it doesn't target. That's key here. It does not target. Neither does well, Dunker does, but more often than not, you're going to be targeting one your own back row with Dunker, just because reload or penalty box just do better things in grave sometimes. So that's also good. But yeah, Blaze Accelerator Reload. This guy is if this card was not in the deck, this deck would not work. Blaze Accelerator Reload is here because he gets off the scatter shot effects. He also is a small draw engine, which is pretty useful. So definitely would not play this at any less than 3. So yes, 2 Magic Hats. This is a good card for game 1. I put this in specifically for game 1. After game 1, you can really gauge whether or not you need it. Typically, I side this card out for other cards that typically get other things integrate faster or just in general better. So 2 Magic Hats, in my opinion, is just good for game 1 in terms of getting reload and penalty box and grave as soon as possible. I play 1 Jar of Avarice because, again, Firestorm Guards might be negated or you might not be able to get the Emerald off. So Jar of Avarice is there just in case. And yeah. For the extra deck, I play 1 Norden for the instant fusion target. 2 Castell. Can't play Exciton anymore, so Castell is the next best replacement in my opinion. 2 Emerald. This is just for more recovery, and if you have the chance to play 2 Emerald, play 2 Emerald because it's good for this deck to recycle back your scatter shots. You need that, so yeah. 1 Cowboy. 1 101, 1 Excalibur, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Gemini Pearl. This is purely here because I have the space, and I really hate dealing with cards that negate effects, specifically Fiendish Chain. I hate dealing with Fiendish Chain. So that's why Gemini Pearl is here. He's kind of a trolly card, but he's just pretty useful in that aspect. 1 number 80. There are decks that can lose to this card pretty easily. decks like, what are they called? Gradles actually suffer to this card. Any deck that likes the graveyard but that doesn't like being banished is just hates dealing with this card. Oh, and what are they called? Side frames. If you banish the drivers, they can't really do much until they draw into a field zone or a psychic path. So Rhapsody and Berserk is a good card for that. Ragna Zero, decent card. Black Ship of Corn, decent card. Blade Armor Ninja is here because you can make it. Do I make it often? No. I do not make this often whatsoever. And then I play one Volcasaurus because it is possible for me to make it, and it's there in case I need it. Do I make it often? Absolutely not. But he's just there in the very, very small case that I do need it. So, thank you guys for watching this deck profile. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, guys, have a nice day.